I can't get a break in life. I hate that damn mentality, but I can't get a break. You aren't given any breaks in life. You make them for yourself. We are all being tested in life. While my test is different than yours, you will be tested. And how you face that test and how you overcome that test determines the rest of your life. The one mentality that you must have in life is that regardless of what's in front of you, you still must grind. I'll never be in the Olympics. I'll never be a professional athlete, but still I grind. I fail at most things I do, but still I grind. I don't want to do half the shit I do, but still I grind. And that one day, you see me down a dark alley, run at 1 o'clock in the morning, know one thing. I was grinding. Stay hard.
Being accepted is one thing that killed me. And you have to learn, what do you want in your life? We have so much influence coming at us that we are so lost. We don't know what we want to do because we don't spend enough time with ourselves. You have to learn to shut off a phone, shut off a computer, shut off a TV. And it's okay to sit in a room by yourself in a chair and just think about you, where I want to be, where do I see myself tomorrow, the next year from that. And it takes a lot of self-discipline to be able to do that nowadays, because you want to be so attached to everything. You want to be so caught up with the world. The world's moving too fast. The world's moving so fast that you're trying to keep up to the point where you lose yourself in the world. So you have to take that time and go to that dark place in your mind and discover who you are.
When you think about all those people to thank, we thank everybody. Got a big long Rolodex. Text people, give them a call. But there's one person we leave out. That's ourselves. We forget about all those fucking nights, single moms, single dads, fucking people out here who want to lose weight, out here grinding. We forget about the hidden work that we put in, the work when nobody's watching. We forget about all those times we didn't want to do shit, and we did the motherfucker anyway. We live life thanking everybody in the fucking world. But the one person that goes neglected is yourself. Make sure you thank yourself. Stay hard.
No matter what avenue I choose, I want to be the very best. And the very best may not be I'm number one. The very best is, did I leave everything inside of me out there? So attacking is not like, oh, I want to win this or win that or be the best. The best is I'm running against myself in everything I do, and that's what I attack. I attack myself. I'm always questioning myself. I'm always holding myself accountable.
Talk to me about the accountability mirror.
So the accountability mirror is something that I kind of came up with in high school. Like I said, I started shaving my head when I was 16. And I got caught up in trying to impress so many people because no one liked me. So I developed so many different identities. Let me sag my pants. You know, let me pull my pants up. Let me talk this way or act this way or be this way or whatever the hell it may be. God, dog, there's so many different things I did to try to fit in with so many different groups that when you look in the mirror, that's the one person you can't lie to. So every morning I would shave my head thinking, God, I would reflect back on some of the lies I may have told somebody or some of the ways I acted that I didn't feel comfortable doing. And I did it to impress other normal people. The key word there is normal, everyday people. I was trying to make other people like me. How pathetic is that? So this mirror would always tell me, my reflection would say, God, you are a pathetic man. How does that feel every day to be this way? So I would just start having myself accountable. How did I attack today? How did I attack yesterday? And if I didn't do something I was proud of, I would write down a sticky note and I would fix it. So then my senior year in high school, it was a totally different David Goggins. I wanted to sit the cool guy lunch table, man. I wanted, even though everybody was calling me time, I wanted to try to act like somebody I wasn't so I could fit in. And I sold my soul to the devil, trying to act like, I'm David fucking Goggins. That's who I am. And so I wrote down on a piece of paper, fuck the table, Sit by your fucking self. And that's what I did, and guess what happened? My table became a table people started sitting at. Because a whole bunch of people in that lunchroom felt exactly like I did. I had a laundry list of things that I write down in this fix. So I write it down and fix it.
So one of the guys I was in training with came down to visit me. He was amazed at how I kept the same routine I had 20 years ago. Waking up early, going to the gym, getting after it, going back in the afternoon. I could tell he felt bad, so he started to explain to me why he can't do anymore. Talked about travel, talked about work. So he started asking me, how the hell do you fucking do this shit every fucking day? I said, I don't fucking negotiate with myself. Most of us come out here, we explain away why we can't do shit, and we stick in this negotiation process in our mind. You can't negotiate these things. They're definites. Stay hard.
I honestly want to be considered one of the hardest men to walk the planet Earth in the history of the world. And what I mean by hard, I'm not talking about the guy who does the most pull-ups, the most sit-ups, runs the most. Just a person who's able to overcome any adversity in front of him, to figure out a way. Hardness isn't about all this physical shit, man. Yeah, it helped me get to where I'm at. But all I was doing in the whole process, the process wasn't to be ripped, it wasn't to walk around with my shirt off. That wasn't it. I knew through the physical challenges, through the physical suffering, my mind was getting stronger. I was literally doing that for a reason. I had a weak mind. All the rest just happened to come with it. I was trying to strengthen the mind to handle all the judgment that's passed on me, perceived and not. Sometimes you make it up in your own head. You know, I just want to be able to handle all of that, everything, physical, mental. I want to be perceived as that, like an old school barbarian, an old school guy that's like, God, dog, man, nothing can hurt the guy, which is why the book is titled, Can't Hurt Me. I want people to have that mantra in their life. Take that with you. Take it everywhere you go in life. And if you believe that and you work towards that, callous in your mind, strengthen yourself, Can't Hurt Me is strong. In any situation, like when I was in Buzz, they beat the shit out of you. I'd be the first one to get to say, can't hurt me, motherfucker. And they were beating the hell out of me. But you say that enough to you. False motivation becomes fucking real motivation after a while.
But this cat wanted to start racing somebody. So he started racing me. He didn't know who the fuck he was racing. He didn't know it was me. I'm under an alias. See, a lot of motherfuckers, when they think it's me or somebody else and they want to chase, they got a carrot in front of them. He had no carrot. It was him versus him. I'm under some fucking initials. He wanted to test my resolve. He wanted to test my ability to go to the limit. He wanted to see where his world ends and mine begins. This ain't no fucking game. This is my motherfucking lifestyle, son. Hey, yeah, I'm fired up. This is what I do. When someone gives you hell, make sure you push them right back and give them hell. Stay hard.
So even though you gave me all this shit, you gave me a satchel of shit that I didn't deserve, and now I'm all fucked up and people think I'm a fucking liar and I'm all fucked up. You gave me this. You created this fucking nightmare of Goggins. I'm gonna fix it though. So now I get it, I look at it, this is what I'm saying in my head. I'm gonna fix it now. So I must take it. I take all this shit, it's mine. I'm gonna fix all this shit. But I know to fix shit, people wanna find peace immediately. And this is where people don't like me. I don't believe that shit. You're gonna find peace from going to war with yourself, because we all got shit. We all got shit. People look at me, the reason why my story resonates with people, because I don't hide. I'll tell you exactly who the fuck I am. I will admit to it. People are great at hiding. So they want to just find peace. No, you gotta take your shit, fix whatever's fucked up in you. Don't just shove it under the rug. Fix it, and then you'll find some peace later. You cannot live in that normal mindset. You must be your best on your worst day. And how you do that is you cannot think of a normal mindset. You cannot have a normal mindset.
Life will not always be 70 and sunny. Life is the ultimate competitor. It's relentless. It will continue to attack you when you least expect it. We must learn to adapt and overcome to any and all obstacles that are in front of us. We have to evolve. And the way I evolved was I changed my diet. Had to start doing a lot more cross training. When the obstacle gets in front of you, don't let it stop you. Don't let it deter you. Navigate around that motherfucker. A lot of us out here are pushing real hard, but we're afraid to go to that dark side. In your mind, when you push real hard, you have this door in your mind. And a lot of us don't want to open that door. Once you open that door, you're in a tunnel. It's a dark ass tunnel. And you can't see shit. There's one thing about being in dark places. If you have the courage to stay in there long enough, your eyes will start to adjust to the darkness. Your body and mind will always adjust to more suffering, to more pain. If you want to push harder, know this. Your mind quits way before your body does. So you have to be willing to go way into that darkness and find more of yourself. Stay hard.
Well, a lot of people, what they do is they have these finish lines. And I have a saying that says, I don't stop when I'm tired, I stop when I'm done. So when I was younger, I didn't have any goals. And it's not really so much about goals, it's just a fucking to-do list. A to-do list. And as a human being, if you don't have a to-do list, you're gonna sit back and just fade away. It's like a lot of people who are in the military, who are in business, who are whatever, they say, hey, I want to do 20 years and I'm gonna retire. Okay, what's next? So I have a what's next list. So then I never sit idle. I never sit idle. There's never one time in my life where I'm sitting back with free time and like just enjoying the sun. I made it. No, I've never arrived. And a lot of people say, are you happy? Because I'm so driven that it almost makes people who are weaker in the mind think, my God, you must not be happy. That's a weaker person's way of saying, you've overachieved, David Goggins, and you're making me feel like shit. So if I'm making you feel like shit, sorry about that. If I'm making you feel like shit, I'm doing my job. If you ask me if I'm happy, I'm doing my job. Because when I was a weak person, these are some of the things I would ask a very driven person, because I didn't understand, because they were so driven that my mind was so weak that I was like, they must not be happy. I would find a way to put a title like they're crazy, or they're not fulfilled, or they're empty, because I didn't have what they had. So basically, if I get these questions, I know I'm exactly where I need to be. All my ideas come from when the blood pressure, the intensity is high, because that puts me back in the dungeon. I remember when I was 300 pounds, my most inspirational time is when I was 300 pounds and I was trying to lose weight, and I was having all these self-talks, trying to find strength all over my brain. How the fuck am I gonna do this? So you start to have these different mantras, like almost every 3 or 4 seconds, a different mantra comes up. And just there's a lot of power in that, from being that underdog mentality.
Yeah.
And whenever I go out to work out, it's not like I'm David Goggins now, 44, I've achieved a lot. Every time I go out to work out, I'm that 300-pound guy.
Got it.
Spraying for fucking cockroaches, nothing. Because if you think that way, you can only achieve the best. If you've arrived and you go out there, I don't need to be out here doing this. I want my mind to know who's in charge. So for the better part of 26 years, my mind was in charge of me, which is why I made all these horrible decisions. Once you take control of your mind, you start making decisions for yourself versus your mind making decisions for you. We all have these two voices. For me, my routine is every night I stretch out. and I stretch out for 2 or 3 hours every single night without fail. And while I'm stretching out, I'm thinking about my plan for the next day. And I'm thinking about all these different obstacles that may come up. So basically, a lot of us aren't prepared for life. We get up willy-nilly and just hope life is gonna happen. It is gonna happen, but it's gonna happen with a prepared mind or an unprepared mind. Most people attack life with an unprepared mind. What I do is I try to account for all things that could happen, might happen, probably will happen, and then the unknowns. So basically, I can't account for everything, but I do know there could be some things that come up in life that you need to be ready for. I know for a fact I'm not gonna run a workout tomorrow. Therefore, I'm preparing my mind for that. I don't wanna do that. I know tomorrow will come with some difficult decisions to make. It may come with getting a phone call saying someone died, this happened, that happened. I'm always preparing myself, not in a morbid way, but just like, look man, be ready for life. Don't let life just start attacking you left and right. Make sure that you start to build a mental armor so then you're ready for life. And that comes with a very physical way, and the physical helps out the mental. But honestly, it was, I realized at a young age how to change myself was through discipline. And the military didn't teach me that. It was something I realized I had zero discipline, zero self-discipline. And I realized I have to start developing this. And I started really because I was horrible at reading and I was horrible at writing. I have so many learning disabilities, it's not even funny. So I just sit down at the table and spend so much time in this, reading and writing and learning. And that kind of translated over to my self-discipline with working out. That's where it started. I started when I was about 16 years old and said, well, I'm a 4th grade reading level. You know, let me go ahead now and start really focusing because I'm not gonna get in the military because I got to pass the test. That's where it started for me.
The more I didn't quit, the more self-respect I gained. I started seeing people getting happy and shit because the end was near. But there were some asshole instructors that would hear the happiness and go right on past the end point. When that happened, everybody stopped talking. Heads would start dropping. And I started taking fucking souls. At that time, I knew what happened in their minds. They were living off the hope factor. They hoped the instructors would stop running. They hoped the water was never cold. They hoped the weather was fucking good. I don't live off that hope shit. I wish the water was cold. I wish them motherfucking instructors keep on fucking running. I wish for fucking rain. When the ending is unknown and the distance is unknown, that's when you know who the fuck you are.
You're watching LeBron make his dreams become a reality. That's why you ain't successful. You're watching the Black Mamba make his dreams become reality. If you put the same time LeBron put in, and I started studying, and I realized as an African-American male, I need to get a master's degree and a PhD in order to do what I'm doing. And guess what? I had to get up even though it was hard, and I had to take ownership of my life, take ownership of my time, take ownership of my day. It's time to take ownership. Take ownership. Don't you ever say you don't have something because of what somebody's doing. So I need you to take ownership of your time.
And the power was all mine. In life, it's important to do one thing. Many people will try to dehumanize you. It's up to you to find self-respect and dignity in yourself. You don't need a uniform to have honor. You need to have pride in yourself. Dignity.
There's opportunity to get stronger and get smarter and get faster and get tougher and get more stable and get more resilient. You have the opportunity to show the world, the whole world, what you are really made of.
Come on, y'all. Y'all heard it a million times. Put the dog in case of an emergency. Put the doggone mask on yourself first before you. And the problem with most of you in this room, you're giving it to everybody else first. And then you kiss when you give it to everybody else first, and you come up short, and you wonder why you came up short, because you gave it to everybody else first. Take care of you. Look at your dreams and your goals. I can't be here for you when you're not here for me. Now we can run together, but I can't pull you. And some of y'all, I'm trying to help you. You got these dreams. You heard this stuff right here and you want that. You can't get it because you pulling too many people. You can't run no marathon pulling other people. Take care of you.
So what's your fucking excuse? Is it too cold where you live? Is it too hot where you live? Does it rain too fucking much? Now it's time for some real fucking talk. Maybe you're the only black person applying for a fucking job. Job, whatever the fuck it may be. Maybe that shit's in your fucking head. Maybe that's your excuse for not being better. Life's a real big fucking picture. When I was young, all those things got in my head. Black, fucking not smart enough, single mom, all that bullshit owns space in my head. If you're allowing people and things and situations to own space in your fucking head, you're losing. One thing in life, this applies to everything in life. Anytime you move from being normal to trying to be exceptional, people aren't gonna like that shit. Those normal people, it makes them feel like shit, so they're gonna judge you. And nowadays, it's very easy to be a fucking coward. Why? We got Instagram and shit. Most folks don't tell you to your face. They go online, they post about it like cowards. Don't let cowards get in your fucking head. Make sure you do you. Last thing, life's one big fucking head game. You play with yourself. If you lose, it's because you allow life to get in your fucking head. Stay hard.
And by simply going through the motions, and you stayed on the righteous path, the disciplined path, you stayed on the war path, which is right where you know that you belong.
So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck it up and do it. What the hell are we all waiting for to start attacking life? You waiting for the stars to align? Back when I was growing up, the song came out. All I need is a miracle. Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now and changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. In the military, we have this big old rucksack on the back. Have batteries, water, extra gear. Your extra gear is what you're dealing with in life. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're least motivated. Stay hard.
You ain't no boy no more. This ain't no base. This ain't no, I want to go party. Party's over with, out of time. Not time to be partying no more. Now it's time to create a legacy now. You had your fun. Now get to work. Now build a legacy. I put you to work for this legacy. You work for your family. You don't got no options. You don't work nowhere else. You don't work for nobody else. You work for your mama. You work for your sister. You work for your aunts. You work for your grandma. You work for your family. You work for your kids. You don't wear nobody else's name. They eating off of that. Your family ain't gonna eat off that. You gonna get a check. We building money for generations to come.
You need to get things done. I don't really want to work out. I work out. I really don't want to hammer on a project. I hammer on the project. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Shut that down. Do not listen to that little voice. Instead, go lift the weights, sprint the hill, work on the project, get out of bed.
There's so many times in life you don't want to be doing what you're doing. You can't just quit. Remember this, it's in the hobby and lifestyle. So what you say to yourself is important. It's only you. Don't say a word. Stay uncommon amongst uncommon people. You're never done. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. You need to live in the grip of life to find inspiration. Put challenges in front of yourself. When you put a challenge in front of yourself and you attack it, that's when you find inspiration. Try to be 10% better than you were last week. So if you're running 30 miles a week, run 33. If you're swimming 500 meters, swim 550. The more you walk away from accountability, the weaker you become. Find yourself in the grip of life. You can't find yourself by doing nothing.
People want to
how to stop the laziness, and learn how to stop the procrastination. You start right here. And when do you start? You start right now. You initiate the action aggressively. You go. Because the idea isn't going to execute itself. The weights out in the gym, they're not going to move themselves. You have to do it, and you have to do it now. You got to stop thinking about it and stop dreaming about it and stop researching every aspect of it and reading all about it and debating the pros and cons of it. Just start doing it. Get after it, and get after it here and now.
When I was 18 years old, I act like that. When I was 21, I act like that. I'm 49 now. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I behaved like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Cut it off. Cut it off. Cut it off. Cut her off. So what? She gonna get attitude. Cut her off. So what? Bump your boss. Cut your boss off. Your wife needs you. Bump your boss. Your boss don't run you. Your boss don't care about your wife and your kids. You care about your wife and kids. Do what you supposed to do. You ain't no boy no more. You talented enough. God made you. You got everything you need.
I love my haters. They are the ones that make me an animal. They make me animalistic because I know something deep inside them wants me to fail. And I'm going to do my damnedest to see you suffer as I succeed.
While you're over there watching me and talking about me, I'm working. I'm working hard. I'm taking things to the next level. You keep gossiping and I'll keep working. You keep talking smack and I'll keep working. You keep focusing on everything and everyone else and I'll keep working. And when you finally look around at where you are and where I'm at, you'll realize that you have nothing left to talk smack about. And this here applies to, and you will lose and I will win. When people are playing office politics or forming their little cliques or working their personal agendas. And again, I know sometimes you have to play those games, but let your first course of action, let the fundamental core of your reaction be to outwork and outperform every last one of them.
The most important step we'll ever take in life is our next one. A lot of us get our feet stuck in concrete. We get our feet stuck in concrete because we're afraid to make enemies. We're afraid to speak what's on our mind. We're afraid of being in that group of people. And when you walk away, we're afraid of what they might say behind your back. All that fear clouds your brain, clouds your thinking. One thing in life, you're gonna always have haters. Embrace them. If you can walk on water, trust me, your haters will say, you can walk on water because you can't swim. Learn one thing. Embrace the fact that people don't like you. It means you're doing something right. Stay hard. Stay in the fight.
What do you do about the negative guy that's trying to bring you down? You can confront them, and you can, by doing that, join in their little game. And in doing that, you give them the satisfaction. They now know that they got into your head, and then you're turning your workplace into, your basic grade school gossip hall. So we don't like that. The preferred methodology for this situation for me is quite simple. And that is ignore and outperform them.
A lot of us don't believe that we can achieve the impossible. And along my journey, I started realizing, man, like I discovered something that some people have but they don't even know. All of us have it. But along this way, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't a theorist. I became a practitioner. And I was like, my God, I'm busting down so many barriers of, like, I have a learning disability. Okay, but I'm catching up with everybody. I figured that out. I figured out all these negative things in my life that were keeping me in this hole. I'm like, I gotta tell people, man, that, hang on a second, man. You can achieve the absolute impossible. You don't need great parents. You don't need like a private school. You don't need to have this humongous GPA and all this other shit. What you need is the one thing I talk about in my book, which is straight up brutal work ethic. You have to be willing to outwork everybody in the world. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part. This isn't like some 5-step process where if you do these 5 steps, you're gonna end up with this magical world. Nah, I'm basically teaching you how to callous over your victim's mentality. I'm teaching you how to, like I did 67,000 pull-ups in training for the pull-up record. I was seriously callousing my hands to protect them. What I'm trying to do with people is teach them how to find more of themselves to where they empower themselves. I'm all about the underdog. So that's what the book's all about, man. It's all about having that step process, and I had to share this with people.
My haters give me energy and passion like nobody else. Let me tell you something. There are times when I'm thinking about taking a nap and I think about my hater. Listen to me, very other times I think about doing something stupid and I say to myself, E.T., if you mess up, you know how your haters will relish in this? Love my haters, embrace my haters. Why? Because my haters will say things to me that my mother will never say. My haters will say stuff my wife will never say. My haters will say stuff that people that love E.T. would never say. My haters give me a perspective.
That was the biggest thing. I had to stop caring what people thought about me. I walked around and I put these people on a pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're gonna judge me and I'm gonna feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their world better than you have. That's all they've done. So once I realized that, if you want to sit back, like for instance, there's all these things that are on TV and we have all these news people judging. Yeah, they made big mistakes. But that person who is judging you on TV, I guarantee you that news person, they say, I'm glad that my shit didn't come out, but I'm gonna judge the hell out of you. I know that about people. So if you want to sit back and judge how jacked up I was and how messed up my life was, Merry Christmas, go for it. Have a good time. But I'm smiling at you right now, knowing you have a secret that you're not willing to share. It gives you a lot of power when you're able to go on a podcast this big and say, hey, tell me, I'll tell you anything you want to know. I no longer care. And that is a lot of power in that. To be able to put your life on a billboard for the whole world to see and say, judge it, man. Judge it. Like just me talking about it makes me feel good. And that's another thing about it. When you are willing to talk about how jacked up you are, the strength, that big rock that you carry, it just starts to come off you. It just starts to come off. That's why I do it so often. I'm like, hey man, I'll tell you anything you want to know. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of not telling you. I'm tired of lying about how good I'm not. People may think that I'm this extrovert guy now because I've been trying to get this book out there, but out of everybody with, like with their books, I think I probably took on the least amount of podcasts. I think we turned down over 200 podcasts. I was getting them left and right, and I'm like, you know what, man, if you buy the book, you buy it. If not, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna be out here trying to pump this book on people, and people oversell themselves too much, I think, in life, and that's just not me, man. If you like it and you hear about me through word of mouth, Merry Christmas. If not, man, so be it, man. You don't hear about me.